Yes. So I think that's what I love about him too, is that you said, he's robotic in love and kindness. And that's what the word there is, the juxtaposition.
Mhm.
You got this one version and then he can tap into this other one and it throws you off and it shocks you and it's magnificent. I mean, if we talk about men and masculinity, it's the same thing. I was
Mhm.
teasing someone the other day. And I was like, I got emotions too, asshole. I don't show any of you bastards, my coworkers. I only show them the idiot, but I don't ever show them any real gushy stuff. But every once in a while, it'll spit out.
Yeah.
My students see it. Spencer sees it. The podcast sees it, but other folks don't see it. Um, what I love about Ray is what you touched on, his like deep love for not only like his partner but also his squad. Like those are his
Mhm.
children.
Yep.
I mean, that's what he cares about. And there's a lot of other racial stuff and queer based hate bias stuff in there too, right? Gay cop,
Mhm.
you're going to see the one scene, or there's a couple scenes when he walks into the precinct and they're like, you, you here to you here to turn yourself in, boy? There's the one scene where he's like, yeah, I had a partner and he's a homophobe, but he wasn't racist. And he's like, that's pretty good back then.
Yeah. You only choose so much. You
For
only
real.
choose.
Um, so I'm going with this. One of my favorite scenes, but it's not like a happy favorite scene, is when Terry Crews's character has to make a complaint on this white guy that arrests him and beats him up in his own hometown when he was going to
Mhm.
look for a little girl's doll that got lost. It was it's also the white cop in Dexter in the original series, the white dude that was always super fucking tan. The
Oh
younger
yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
I know
asshole.
who you're talking about. Yeah.
So he beats up Terry Crews' character. Terry Crews wants to file a report, report this dude for harassment.
Mhm.
So Captain Holt squashes it. It's like, don't do that. It's going to ruin your record. You're applying for all these promotions. Sits down with the white guy. White guy's like, fuck you, man. You know what you were doing. You should be in that neighborhood. And you shouldn't be looking suspicious. And he's like, this is racist as shit.
Mhm.
Then he decides to go against Captain Holt and says, I'm filing this. Captain Holt freaks out, says no. Terry Crews goes, you fought so hard for all these things, so we could make complaints on people like this.
Mhm.
You did it one way being this black queer individual back in the day. So you had to repress and hide a lot of stuff and deal with it. Now we can get people in trouble.
Mhm.
He does get the white dude in trouble. He gets paid administrative leave. So we've heard that term a lot when there's
Yeah.
a lot of racial hate biases happen with officers. Um, and then Terry Crews does get hurt actually from it. He doesn't get the promotion that he was supposed to. Um, but he thought that he did right. So him and Captain Holt have a really good moment. He's like, I'm proud of you. He's in, I apologize. That was a good moment for Captain Holt because he's right, realizing that all of us do this. We have our own little vision, implicit or internal biased. We only see things from our point of view. And sometimes we can guide people and not get out of our own way. Even therapists like me, I'm guiding people. It's still by my point of view. I'm guiding you.
Mhm.
Sometimes I need to do some introspection, what's going on right here? Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why am I feeling this? Would I say this if this is a white individual in front of me, or a white male in front of me, a brown male in front of me? So you need to think about that sometimes.
Mhm.
Uh, that was a good episode. Uh, what was another favorite clip out of the 15, 20 clips that we saw?
I really liked I mean, Velvet Thunder is always a good one
It was
just
good.
because the whole episode is like now he's finally opening up to Jake and actually going to he's starting to actually use the vernacular that Jake uses, which is always cool. Because like I said before, once he starts opening up, then you're like, wow, this is such a great character. Even though they're keeping their stoicism to like they're still stoic and they're still, you know, I'm not making a ton of facial expressions. Now they're actually like you have these moments that are so selective and you get to really get to see the joy in the character and it's not just a one-sided, person
You
anymore.
appreciate it more
Yeah.
because it's so
Yeah.
little that you see that. So it makes you really appreciate all the
Yeah.
velvet thunder.
Yeah.
Um, so it reminds me when you're trying to teach someone in therapy,
Mhm.
What's the language? You putting the riz on them, girl. You putting that riz on. So I said riz, and my student goes, "Don't ever talk to me ever again." I was like, "Well, fuck you then. Hope your ass fails." um. So when you're trying to teach people how to maybe make eye contact, handshakes, appropriateness, topics, how to start a conversation. So it reminds me of like Jake, where he always tries to get him to be more, I'm going to use this and it's going to sound, bad, but more human instead of more robotic. It's going to be more like emotional.
Mhm.
So you can have these conversations in relationships. Because if you're going to run into some other spectrumy folks, if it's two introverted spectrumy folks, y'all probably not going to talk to each other because you're going to be like, fuck it. Or I don't want to because I'm anxious. So
Yeah.
Jake tries to give him some of that swag. And I find that doing with clients all the time.
Yeah.
Just teaching them small things. So I'm going to go a little pivot. The one scene, hilarious. The scene where so I heard science research study that if you smile for amount of time, it makes you happy. And the big fat dude reminds me of me. He's just a straight up idiot. And he's like, if I hold this, my fucking teeth are going to just turn to dust.
My enamel is gone. I feel everything. Feel a cold breeze. Oh,
He's like, if you brush your fucking teeth, he's like, I do, you jackass.
it's acid reflux.
You patient shit. So that reminds me when me, the therapist, so technically Captain Holt in this situation is trying to teach other folks that are also autistic on how to be more personable and not normal, but more personable for job interviews, like dates, stuff like that, when you're trying to make these connections. So smiling, reciprocity in like language, asking them some questions instead of going on for 24 hours about a barrel made by some random dude, and then you talk about another barrel. So there's a few nuances about meeting new humans. Doesn't matter if they're on the spectrum or not, or neurotypical or not. And so that scene is hilarious. Hilarious. Because I've had some students in there and we're practicing smiling, Spencer, and like I have them go home and practice it sometimes. And they'll be in there, Nas, I figured it out. And then they'll be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Would you
so
like some cheese?
that looks like you just squished 3 of your hamsters to death.
And keep patting me.
Yeah, you're proud of me.
No.
Um, which then leads into the other one, which is I've used to mess around with Tara to figure out because she hated eyebrow lifting. So I actually sent her that scene. Or no, we watched it in my office. And she's like, turn it off. Turn it off. She just can't handle facial expressions. And so I want you to walk in there. Detective, pump. I know what you did with that lady. Pump, pump.
Pump, pump.
He's like, he's going to know a double pump?
Double pump. What?
um, and I've literally have gone through this, like smiling, all of it, questions. I literally all of it. And that scene is perfect of trying to teach someone on the spectrum. But then think about it. It's a fucking idiot like me that's also autistic trying to teach someone that's autistic on how to be neurotypical. And how the fuck do I know about neurotypical conversations?
This is how you be quote unquote normal.
Yeah. Today I shook a dude's
Derp.
hand and I put my middle finger in there and massaged it. Heavy petting.
Oh my god.
Heavy petting. And so his wife, she shakes his hand and then massages his hand with the other one. And she's like, what the fuck did she say? I like to double hit it or double tap it, or like it sounded so sexual. I was like, you like to double hit it, huh, girl?
Like, you need to stop. Don't ever say that again.
Can you double hit me?
No.
Good.
I really love to be double tapped. No.
Double tapped? Yeah, she's like, girl, do you know what you just said?
Don't ever say that in public. Don't.
One of my spectrumy boys at work, I put the fist out there to say goodbye, and he looks at it.
Oh my God.
I'm just like, whenever you see someone not know how to fist bump, tease them.
Just like, and like,
yeah,
I think they're gonna hit you.
And then, oh, I hear you right now. People are like, oh, it's cultural. Maybe white folks don't know how to do it, this and that. I'm like, nah. We know some white folks,
Everybody fist bumps.
they'll be like, you know,
No, it's an autism thing. White people know how to fist bump too.
okay, so it's just autistic. My old boss was autistic. I put it out there once and she rock, paper, scissors that motherfucker. I was like, you're so white.
Can't make that up.
You can't. It was so awkward. It's always funny. Whenever you get that limp noodle hand too, you're like, you're autistic as shit. I had to teach Slim how to shake hands like repeatedly in the car when we were going in for an interview at Goodwill. I was like, hey man, this is what you gonna do. You ain't gotta look the motherfucker in the eye. I need you to grab my hand. He just slaps it on me. I'm like, don't you put that thing on me now, boy. Oh, so we literally practiced it for like 15, 20 minutes in the car. And my dad's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Just shaking hands in the car.
Someone, the police pull up. We saw two grown Arab men in the parking lot shaking hands and braiding beard hair.
I think they were trying to send a message in ASL.
Yep.
Some shit.
Yep. It was just about squeezing and squeezing. I suck at handshakes too. I usually undershoot it and I get pinched.
You just gotta jam it in there. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop whoop.